Okay, so our prelims proper. Man, we have of a fight night, right? And it all starts off with the middleweights. Edmen Shahbazyan against André Muniz. Right? So, how do I even pronounce this? Sergipano, right? Sergipano. André Muniz. He is 35, 6'1", 78-inch reach. He's got a 24-7 record. He is coming off a loss in his last fight, though. All right, he is 6-3 in the UFC, and he came via the Contender Series. Had 2 fights even, right, to get that contract. So perseverance. So he last time out, he lost to Ikram Alaskerov. That was in April this year, first round stoppage. Right, that was coming off a win over John Young Park in December 2023, split decision. Right, he got stopped by Paul Craig, right, and that was Paul Craig's first kind of knockout. Well, first and only, that was July 2023. And he lost to Brendan Allen, rear naked choke, 3rd round, February 2023. Yeah, 2023 wasn't the best win, but he did end it with that win over Park, right? He beat Uriah Hall, unanimous decision, July 2022. And he got a win over Eric Anders, your boy, caught him in an armbar, December 2021. Right, so, man, I think his best, trying to look and wondering what his best win was, right? Yes. I mean, he did stop Jakub, right? That all the way back in May 2021. Got him in a first round armbar, So I think the Jakub win is probably his best. Though, I mean, Jakub obviously was in his declining years, but he was still dangerous. Still dangerous, So yeah, I think Jakub was his biggest win. Now, as I say, look, he's got submissions, he has stopped people. He is tough. He can gas out. Right? Muniz can gas out, and his productivity can oftentimes slow in a fight. Right? Now he's going up against the golden boy, Edmen Shahbazyan, still only 27. It's crazy because it really does feel like he's been around for ages, right? He's 6'2", 75-inch reach. He's got a overall record of 15-5. He's put together 2 back-to-back wins, 8-5 in the UFC, came via the Contender Series. So last time out, he beat André Petrosky. That was June this year. February this year, he knocked out Dylan Budka in the first round. Right, so that was coming off that loss to Gerard Mershot, where he was winning, and then he lost. Right, you thought he had kind of fixed some issues, and then he did a Shahbazyan in the Mershot fight, but in the last 2, he has looked good. Right? He has looked good. Right? So, look, he blazed into the UFC. 4-fight win streak. 4-fight win streak, and some crazy, got that head kick on Brad Tavares, which was great, right? Great win. But then he moved up, right? Lost to Derek Brunson, Jack Hermansson, Nazardine Imarov. He beat Dasha Lumanbugi. But yeah, then he lost to Anthony Hernandez. But Anthony Fluffy Hernandez, we have seen what kind of animal he is, right? Was going to be in a title eliminator. So there's no shame in that. But yeah, I think, right, you know, under Eric Nixick, Couture, that he has finally settled into who he should be. Finally. I think this fight will be it, though. This fight will tell us possibly where Shahbazyan will go with his career. And go, when I say go, I don't mean if he'll be a champion, but if he will ever kind of get on the road to contention, to something. Because he should win this fight. Right? Muniz is good, but Shahbazyan has all the tools to win this fight. Right? And so if he's ever going to, you know, accomplish what those around him believe he can, he has to win this one. Now, I'm going to take him. I'm going to roll that dice and take Shahbazyan because I think he can be consistent. I think he can put it together. It is a confidence thing for him, I feel. And he is on a 2-fight win streak. So I think, yeah, that will be a big help. So I'm taking Edmen Shahbazyan for the win. So we then drop down to the bantamweights, right? And we have got Patchy mix against Jakub Wikłacz, right? So, yeah, this is interesting, right? Jakub Massa Wikłacz, right? He's 29, 5'9", 72.8 inch reach. He's 16, 3 and 2 on a 6-fight win streak. Yeah, this is his debut, right? He was a KSW champion. He went 6-1-1 in that organization. He looks like he won the belt, right, in December 2022 via split decision. He then retained the belt, right? They had a rematch. That went to a draw. And then he won the next 2, right? So the first one was a decision against Zuriki Joo-sang. And then they had the rubber match, right? Him and Sebastian Probez had a rubber match, a 3rd fight, right? And this one was a definitive win. He got a 2nd round guillotine submission. So, yeah, that was June 2024. Okay. So, yeah, you know, we see he's got submissions. He does like a guillotine. Right? He does like a guillotine. He's got other ones as well. Rear naked, triangle. Right? He does not so much on the knockout, right? So it's probably fair to say not a concussive puncher. Now, It's not to say if he punches you, he's not going to hurt you. But, yeah, it doesn't seem to have that light-off strength. But he can submit you. Now, across the octagon, he will be facing No Love Patchy Mix, right? So Patchy is 32, 5'11", 70-inch reach. So yeah, he has a slight reach disadvantage. He's 3 years older. He is 3 inches, right? So it's, the differences aren't that much. He's got an overall record of 20-2. Coming off a loss in his last fight, which was his UFC debut. Went 9-1 in Bellator, 1-0 in Rizon. So he lost to Mario Batista. That was on short notice. I think a week's notice. But yeah, he just couldn't really get into his flow, it would seem, in that fight. But Weeks is a good fighter, and he has good submissions, which makes this a very interesting fight, right? They both have good submissions, so I'm not sure either potentially want to go to the floor, though, right? Though going to the floor is probably Wikłacz best way to win, because he doesn't have that knockout power. But we have oftentimes seen in a fight where both are, jiu-jitsu experts, it doesn't go to the floor, right? That's what we have noticed. Now, Mix doesn't oftentimes knock people out. He does have a couple on his record, one in his amateurs, and then the other one back in 2019. Right, so doesn't necessarily have that. It is submissions, but he can win a decision, right? So he can put that striking together. It's an interesting fight, right? I think Jakub Wikłacz, obviously KSW champion, and KSW is it's a tough organization. We've seen some very good fighters come out of it, right? This is the big league, though, right? This is the big league. Now, KSW has fought in big arenas and stuff like that, but there is something different about big on the regional and UFC big. You feel me? This is a pay-per-view. This is a stacked pay-per-view as well. So there are so many eyes. That arena will be noisy as hell. And people have first-time jitters, right? Mix and Pitbull, both former champions, came in and just weren't themselves in that first fight. So I think that's the risk for Wikłacz. So I'm taking Patchy to bounce back from that debut and show the world what he is made of. All right, so we then go to another catchweight fight, right? You have Daniel Santos against Joo-sang, I think it is. Right, so yeah, it should have been a featherweight fight, right? But I believe Santos wasn't going to make weight. So that's why it got made a catchweight bout, right? Yes. Now, we have Joo-sang, Zombie Jr. It's 31, 5'7", 71-inch reach, right? He's got a 9-0 record on a 12-fight win streak. Whew, boy. So he won his UFC debut, right? Beat Shahbazyan, first round stoppage as well, 28 seconds. Huge, right? And outside the UFC, right, he's got a few stoppages. He's got a rear naked choke, a good few decisions. So we know he can, he does have the gas tank to go all the way. So, yeah. Oh, I should say that UFC debut was June this year. All right. And his last fight before that was December 24, which was a first round knockout. Now, across from him, right, we have got Daniel Santos, right, Wily Cat, who's 30, 5'7", 67-inch reach. He's on a 12. He's got an overall 12-2 record on a 3-fight win streak. Right, so he's 3-1 in the UFC. Lost that debut, but then came back hugely. Right, so his debut was April 2022. Lost to Julia Arosa. Right, no, Julio Arce. Yeah, that's a completely other fighter. Right, Julio Arce. But then he beat John Castaneda, knocked him out second round, got a decision over Johnny Muniz Jr. And then he got a decision over Zhang Li. Right, that was May 2025. So, yeah, I mean, Santos is good, but he has come in heavy. Right, he has come in heavy, which is an issue. Definitely is an issue. Right, he's not necessarily knocking people out, which that is always a fear when someone comes in heavy, because they're going to have even more behind their punches. So there is that. Now, Joo-sang, right? He, if someone's coming heavy, you go to you hit them in the midsection a lot, right? And you can grind them, right? Suffocate them, make them carry your weight, right? Do that. And then, they can gas, right? They can gas sometimes. It's the weight miss is a mess with this. But I'm going to take Joo-sang for the win. And then we end our prelims proper with the middleweights, right? We have Ateba Gautier against Tre'ston Vines. Okie dokie. With this one, we have Tre'ston Vines. He's 29, 6 foot. Do not have a reach for him. He's got an overall record of 10-3, and he's on a 4-fight win streak. Whoo! Okay. All right. So, he, last fall, August, right, got a first round stoppage over Ethan Hughes. In September 2024, he round against Robert Hall. In June 2024, he knocked out Rateus Frasher. March 2024, he got a decision over Chris Mixon. Right, so he's active, which is always a good thing. Very active. He was also, he was training for a fight next week in the LFA. So it's not as if he's coming off the couch cold, which is a good thing. And because it's next week, training to hit the peak, he was basically there. It's not always ideal, right? But he was basically there, which is a good thing for him. Now, he will be fighting the silent assassin, Ateba Gautier, 23, 6'4", 81-inch reach, people. Whoa. He is 8-1 on a 7-fight win streak. All right, 2-0 in the UFC, and he has looked sensational. Came via the Contender Series, right? Second round stoppage over Yura Naito. That was September 2024. And his 2 fights in the UFC, 2 fights of the night. Well, performance of the night, right? He got bonuses for both. Both first round stoppages, right? Jose Medina hit him with a knee. That was March this year. July this year, Robert Valentin knocked him out strikes. Blistering too. Blistering. All right, and outside the UFC, just murking people. Right? A lot of first round stoppages. There's a head kick stoppage as well. Now, Gautier should win this fight. He could lose it if he isn't taking Vine seriously, right? If he thinks, he's short notice, I'll walk through this dude. If he has that mentality, he will possibly lose. But I think what we've seen of Gautier, he is hungry, right? He is hungry. And I don't think he will take it for granted. I don't think he will be complacent. I think Ateba Gautier is a problem, right? I think he's a problem. And I think he is going to win this fight spectacularly and take us into the main card in style. So, Ateba Gautier for the win, and these prelims should go off with fireworks.